Hello friends, welcome to today's video. Today we are going to be testing out a mask. This one is from APTO Skincare. This is a nourishing mask with Blue Spirulina. I have not heard of APTO Skincare or had not heard of APTO Skincare before I received this in my Ipsy subscription. I've done a little bit of research into the company. I have looked at information about this product. So I thought what we would do today is I would share with you a little bit of information about the company, and I'm going to give you a warning now that I'm going to be a little ranty. I'm going to tell you about this product. I'm going to apply it to half of my face so that we can see the immediate effect that it has, and then I'm also going to pop into this video tomorrow so that I can let you know after 24 hours if there has been any kind of reaction or any longer term noticeable difference from using the mask on half of my face. And there are going to be timestamps in the description down below, especially if you want to skip past any sort of ranty bits at the beginning. That will help you find the part of the video you want to get to. APTO Skincare is an American company, and they don't have a huge range of products right now. They basically have facial masks and then also facial mists. And in doing my research, the first place I start is always their own webpage because I want to see what they say about themselves. So they say, "We are on a mission to democratize clean beauty. At APTO, we believe everyone should have access to clean beauty at an affordable price. We use the best plant-based ingredients from around the world, and we formulate and manufacture our esthetician-backed products at our own factory in the US. This means we're able to create luxurious, cost-conscious products, all priced between $5 and $25 without sacrificing clean beauty values." So they then go on to say, what is clean beauty? And just as a heads up, I've talked about it on this channel before. I have an issue with terms like clean beauty and also terms like toxic ingredients. I'll just touch on that a little bit later, but it actually does have to do more with my experience learning about this company. So they say, what is clean beauty? Sounds complicated, but it is actually quite simple. To us, clean products are toxic-free, made with ethically sourced ingredients, always vegan, always cruelty-free. What you put on your skin has a big impact on your overall health, and we are here to empower you to make wise decisions. If you have any questions, please email us. We'd love to hear from you. Clean beauty is an art, and it should look and feel that way too. At APTO, we support diversity, originality, and expression, and we believe that a clean beauty routine should be creative and fun. That's why we're proud to partner with artists, poets, and musicians from around the world who share our values by collaborating with other creators. We make clean beauty feel and look like the art it is. Hashtag clean beauty for all, always. Our goal is to give everyone, no matter their budget, the freedom to choose clean beauty and take charge of their skincare routine with non-toxic, effective products. That is their about us, and I just want to break down a couple of things here. They've got a lot going on with this brand. So they've got this whole clean beauty angle, and bundled into that is this non-toxic idea, but also ethically sourced, vegan, and cruelty-free. You've then got this idea that all their products are between $5 and $25. And then finally, you have this artistic partnering with artists part of it. On that last piece, I'll just say that I don't really see where this comes up a lot, at least not on the webpage. I haven't done a deep dive into like their social media or anything like that, but this seems to kind of be the only place where that artistic part is mentioned. The cost part, I think, is really good. If you can make well-priced products made with good ingredients, that is a place to, put your flag in the ground, because myself, and I'm sure a lot of people like me, are very budget conscious, so that is very appreciated. On that first part, I really like when companies are cruelty-free, when they're vegan, and I think ethically sourced is really important as well. Ethically sourced can be very difficult to do, but you're really looking at, are you buying products or, ingredients from places that treat workers well, have living wages, aren't mistreating the environment? There's a lot to wrap into there. There's also this idea about non-toxic, and that's where things start to get a little bit wonky because there's no really agreed upon definition of what that means. And I feel like using that to market products often sort of is using a fear-based approach rather than a positive approach to your products. Moving on from there, but a little further into the clean beauty part of it, they have another drop-down menu that's entirely about clean beauty. So within that, they have their manifesto, a clean beauty quiz, and an ingredient glossary. So I always have this thing about clean beauty and non-toxic doesn't really mean anything. It just makes people have certain fears or beliefs about it. But I really started having a problem with this clean beauty quiz because I was like, okay, I'm going to take your clean beauty quiz. It's not particularly well done, but the first thing is they go to where there's these questions. Which one of these following are great resources to check ingredient safety? Choose as many as you'd like. So there's the FDA, which I chose. There's also EWG, which I had never heard of before. And then the Think Dirty app, which I have heard of before. It's privately run and that's fine. The next questions is fragrance an actual ingredient? Yes or no, which of the following ingredients are potential endocrine disruptors? Again, you're asking people questions based on things they don't necessarily, and me included, have a deep understanding of, but it sounds really scary. Is sodium lauryl sulfate a emulsifier, irritating agent, or cleanser? It's creating these fears because they're not really giving you a lot of information about this. And then which of the following product categories has higher safety concerns? Hair straighteners, lipsticks, or face masks? I'm going to assume it's face masks because that's what they're selling. And then if you want to find out your score and the answers, you have to put your email address in here, which I find to be really sketchy. And it also says to find out your score, type your email here. No spam, we promise. I put my email in. I did all of that. It didn't actually tell me the answers to the questions. It said I did okay, but I don't really know what they think I answered well or I didn't. But then they said you should check out EWC as a source about ingredients in your skincare products. And then I also received an email from them trying to get me to buy ingredients with their products with 15% off. So it's like, oh, so you're sending me email based on the quiz when you said you wouldn't. And why didn't you just tell me you were going to send me information about your products? That seems really sketchy. So I unsubscribed to it. And then I went and looked closer into EWC. Sorry, EWG. I've been saying that wrong. EWG stands for Environmental Working Group. And when you go to their website, it's kind of a mess of a website, especially if you're trying to access it on mobile. But it also makes itself look really official and scientific. And then I did a little bit of a deeper dive into who is EWC, and a lot of articles started coming up about how this isn't actually supported by or validated by scientists. And one article that talked about a certain number of legitimate toxicologists being asked about it, and the grand majority, 90% of them, said that it didn't provide good science, that it wasn't valid. So if you're going to tell me that this is the source I should be using over FDA, I'm not in the States, but it's a very biased source. And there's a number of articles out there about how this website really plays up a lot of fears or talks about certain things being toxic, but doesn't talk about toxicity levels. So here's where I'm just going to say a little thing, because you can choose whatever you want to have in your skincare. If you don't want certain ingredients in there, whether or not they've actually been shown to, have a negative effect on your body, you can do whatever you want. It's your body. So then why is it, I was asking myself, that I get so worked up about these things? You're telling me something's toxic. Well, that's not actually information. If you drink enough water, it is toxic and can kill you. Toxicity very much depends on the amount that you're taking in, the amounts that's safe, what your body can tolerate, because anything can be toxic, pretty much. I mean, things that are good for you and necessary, like certain vitamins in your body, can be toxic at a certain level. So if you point at an ingredient and say, that's toxic, that doesn't mean anything. And it's just creating a lot of fear in people. So back to skincare and masks, do I think this is a bad company? No. So they're leaving out products they think are bad. That's totally fine. And it's at a good price. So then why do I get worked up about this? I think if you are somebody, I'm on a limited budget right now being a student, and if I'm having all this fear fed to me all the time, then I might decide, well, I can't go to the drugstore and buy a face cleanser for $10. I need to buy this organic, non-toxic special cleaner for $55. And if I am going into debt, or if I am putting myself at risk financially or my family at risk because I'm feeling a need to pay more money for things and, do all that because I have this fear about things being toxic, that's not good. And then when you start to extend that further, look at what's going on right now with measles outbreaks and people deciding not to vaccinate their kids because they don't understand the science of it, and certain ingredients sound scary and they're told certain things, and people have a hard time validating sources now, and they aren't trusting scientific research. And when that starts to happen, your concerns aren't just affecting you and your family, it's also affecting society. So while this little thing, you know, whatever, it's a face mask at a good price and the ingredients in it are good, that's fine. But if you start to go down that slippery slope of being afraid of things without having a really good understanding of why you're afraid of it, then we all get to a place where we're doubting good scientific research, and that leads to issues like we're having now. So it's a big topic and there's a lot to unpack there, but as I was going through this website and starting to get frustrated, I was starting to question, why is it that I'm getting upset about this? And those are the kind of things that come to mind. I have a very basic background in science. My undergrad degree is in biomedical science. I don't practice it, so I'm not an expert in any way, but I did study toxicology, epidemiology. So I do have a appreciation for the scientific method and proper testing. And I don't appreciate when people are creating fear about things with no reason for that. So I'm going to leave that there, and I apologize if that was frustrating, but I don't like that when I see it being done, and I particularly didn't like how this company approached it. So let's talk about this mask. This is the Nourishing Mask with Blue Spirulina. The full size of this, because this is a sample, is $16 US. I will say that the full size of this is 1 fluid ounce and this is 0.5 fluid ounces. So you will get double this size sample right here if you buy the full size. The description of this is that it is a wholesome formula to treat your skin to that extra dose of hydration that helps prevent signs of tightness and dullness. A perfect match for dry skin types, squalene to improve elasticity, and Blue Spirulina to promote the growth of new healthy cells. You're supposed to cleanse and exfoliate your skin, which I have done prior to coming into film. You apply a thin mask layer, allowing it to sink in for around 10 minutes without drying too much. Rinse off in the shower or with tepid water on a cotton pad. Allow the skin to breathe and follow with a nourishing moisturizer. So Blue Spirulina, which is their main active ingredient in this, is an algae packed with phytocyanin, a skin superfood that assists in the defense of damaging free radicals. And they do have the entire list of ingredients here. And that is everything that we know about it. So let's get into putting this on half my face. It has the consistency of a clay mask, which is not usually, you know, what you get in a nourishing mask, but I'm just gonna get some out of here. And I'll spread it all over. It does have a very spa kind of smell to it, and it does very much remind me of the feel of a clay mask. It says to do a thin layer, so that is what I am doing. It has a very nice slick feel to it. Set a timer for 10 minutes. And I'll be back.
Okay, 10 minutes and counting.
And I'll be back when this dries to let you know how it feels before I wash it off. Hey guys, it has now been 10 minutes and you can see that this has dried and sort of changed color. The feeling of it was not what I was expecting for a hydrating mask, because it felt so much like a clay mask. It really felt like it was drying down. Now it's not dried down. Like clay masks will dry down and they feel kind of crunchy. It doesn't feel like that, but it had very much that cooling feeling of a clay mask. And some of the ingredients in here include like aloe and tea tree oil. And I feel like I'm getting some of that cooling, astringent type feeling. There's no alcohol in here and there's no clay in here from what I can tell either, but there's just something about it that feels like that clay kind of dry down. So apart from the cooling, which felt strongest when I first put it on and now has dissipated, so I think it does have that cooling feeling as it dries. A little touch of itchiness here and there, but that's always hard to distinguish if it's actually the mask doing it or just me thinking about my skin. Has a beautiful smell, and it's a smell that I know so well, and yet I can't put my finger on, but very much a spa type scent. So something that's used often in skincare. I am going to go wash this off of my face now, and I'll be back to let you know how that process goes and any differences that I can see from one side of my face to the other. So I washed that off. That is a sticky mask. I can see why they said to wash it off in the shower or use a cotton round. I did have to use a couple of cotton rounds. I splashed and splashed and splashed with, lukewarm water on my face, like they said to use lukewarm water, and sort of rubbed and rubbed and rubbed and rubbed with my hands on my face, but that wasn't getting it off. So I did have to go in and wipe it off with a cotton round. So there is definitely a feeling of, if it almost makes sense, that tacky feeling of moisturization. Like my skin feels a little plumped up, but mostly that feeling of when it's been moisturized and it feels a little plump, a little tacky on that side of my face. It definitely looks calmed, like it hasn't irritated my skin at all. I do get a little bit of feeling of irritation right in my nose crease right there, but I have a little pimple there and I sort of had to rub to get the mask off, so that just might be irritation from the rubbing. I'm gonna zoom in. I don't think there's a huge difference from the side that had the mask to the side that didn't, and just know that that's a scar left over from a pimple that I had recently. But it does look nice and calmed, and it does feel quite moisturized. So at this point, I'm pretty happy with it. It seems like a fairly standard moisturizing mask. It does say to put on a good nourishing moisturizer afterwards, so I'm going to go do that. And then I will pop back into this video tomorrow to let you know any 24 hours after impact that I saw. Hey guys, it's the next day. I know I don't usually film like this, but quite honestly, I'm in the middle of organizing a bunch of stuff and my filming space, which is in front of me, is really a mess right now. But I just want to let you know that I didn't have any kind of breakout on the side of my face where I used the mask. There were no bad things that happened from it. And in fact, if anything, I feel like this side of my face looks a little smoother and less red than the other side of my face. So my final thought on this product is this, I think the mask is a very nice, relaxing, moisturizing mask with good ingredients in it. Whether you want to support a company that does some things that I find a little frustrating, I'm not going to tell you what to think about that, but as far as the product and the price, I think it's all good. They do have a number of other masks if you're looking for other skin issues to treat with a mask. But overall, I will continue using this and will happily use the rest of the sample. So that's it, you guys. If you watched the end, please consider giving this video a thumbs up. And I look forward to seeing all of you in my next video. Bye!